Welcome back to the 5% Club. I'm Shayla King, a former C-suite executive turned business and life coach. And this is the podcast for leaders who want it all. The promotions, the paychecks, and luxurious amounts of time for the things that matter most. Each week, I'm going to teach you from my performance and happiness formula what it takes to rise to the top without burnout and overwhelm. Work less, make more, and design a life you love. That's what we do in the 5% Club. Let's go. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the 5% Club. I'm Shayla King, your favorite executive coach. And today we're talking about the steps that most leaders skip before they set their goals. And it's the reason so many people start strong in January and burn out by March. Reflection and alignment. Before you plan anything for 2026, you need to understand what mattered this year, what didn't, where your time actually went, what moved you forward, and what held you back, who you were being while you worked. Otherwise, you'll build a new year on top of old habits. So if you listened to last week's episode or joined part 1 of the reflection workshop, you already looked back at your year. Now we're going to take that clarity and use it to set the foundation for the new year. This episode is the bridge between reflection and planning. So before you set a single goal for 2026, I want you to ask yourself these 3 things. What got me paid this year? What brought opportunities, influence, visibility, or results that your leadership valued? What got you promoted or set you up for being the obvious choice for the next promotion? What things elevated your leadership brand or strengthened your executive presence? What got noticed by the right people? You see, there's a different playbook at every company. So I want you to really consider at this company, with these leaders in this division or function, what gets people promoted? What are they looking for? Let's understand the game at which we're playing, right? So notice what typically works and then notice what things you did last year that were in that realm, okay? And then of course, everything we do is about performance and happiness. So what made you happy? What brought you energy, peace, confidence, connection, or joy? Everything else, all the tasks, meetings, mental load, emotional labor, they became your distractions, avoidance zones, proving patterns. It's that low value, non-promotable work. It's automatic habits that you don't need to bring into 2026. And this is how high-level leaders use the 80-20 rule in real life. You get 80% of your results from 20% of your actions. That's the principle. And we see it over and over and over again. And you will see it in your year if you ask yourself those questions. And I'll tell you at the end, you have an opportunity to do this live with me in a workshop that I'm giving away for free to help you set up for success in 2026. So you can really identify what those 80-20 activities are for you, where you're spending your time that's not getting you paid, promoted, or making you happy. And there's lots of waste there. I help my one-on-one clients all the time re-engineer their work. And they feel like there's nothing that they could stop doing or it would show and they would get in trouble for it and everything would fall apart. And we typically take them from working about 55, 60 hours a week to working about 30. There's so much waste. And during the 30, guess what? They're getting paid, they're getting promoted, they're getting complimented by their bosses on the amount of work that they're actually doing that adds value to the organization. They're driving key projects forward because they're losing the pebbles. They're losing the non-promotable work. They're losing the mess, the chaos, the frantic things, the distractions from what we said truly mattered the most. This is essentialism at work, and you figure it out when you stop and reflect. There's this great, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, there's this amazing cartoon, and it has like 2 Neanderthals running, and they're trying to push a cart with square wheels. right? And this other caveman is running behind him with a circle wheel. And you know what they say to him? No, we're too busy. We can't stop. They're pushing with square wheels, saying we don't have time to slow down to look at your new invention of a round wheel. Y'all, we do this all the time. I'm too busy to take 1 hour out of my life to do a reflection session. The time is now. So join me and other 5%ers in our reflection workshop. Book that time and don't let anyone book over it because this is your round wheel. Okay? Let's talk about a few of the steps that you'll see when you join us in our reflection workshop. So we're going to talk as well about your identity shift, how you really get the king mindset. And so before you write your goals, I want you to ask, who was I in 2025? And who do I want to be in 2026? What version of me am I stepping into? And what thoughts does she think or he think? What standards does she live by? What does she no longer apologize for, is not tolerating, is not proving? And how does she lead when things get hard? You see, identity comes first, thoughts come next, then your actions follow, and your results are last. This is how we train the brain inside the 5% king mindset. So I'm going to give you a couple of mini prompts to consider, probably driving right now, listening to the podcast or out on your walk. And so you don't have to write these down right now. You're going to get all of these questions when you join us live inside of the workshop. So first, what is the 20% that moved the needle most this year? You know, the work that actually mattered. What's the 80% that you're ready to release? And did I strike a nerve for you when I just said that? I think a lot of people, their brain just cannot compute. You know, maybe I could find 10 or 20% of things to stop doing, but 80%? Gotta be kidding me. But that's literally how the principle works. And so we're actually looking to release that much. Wow. So you're going to let your brain just kind of think on that this week as we get ready for our workshop, okay? What is the 80% you're ready to release? The next question is, what habits supported you and which ones sabotaged you? And I used to have things like, you know, if you don't want to get up in the morning or you don't want to go to the gym, changing that one habit had a huge waterfall effect on my life. And I just had to change the thought. It's who I am and it's what I do. So I'm not going to expect to always feel like I want to leave my nice, cozy, warm bed in the morning. But what I am going to know is that I'm going to do it anyways because it's who I am and it's what I do. And so we will work on uncovering things like that of what has been sabotaging you and how can you rewire your brain to think differently about it so that you no longer are always trying to push against a thought that's not serving you. Okay? Another question to consider is, what conversations or decisions will future you thank you for? And what version of you do you want leading 2026? You can hold those answers lightly. They don't have to be perfect yet. That's what the workshop is for. So if you want to go from reflection to alignment and build the version of you who gets paid, promoted, and happy in 2026, then I want you to join me for part 2 of my reflection workshop. Inside of part 2, we're going to identify your high ROI 20%. We're going to release the 80% that drains you. We're going to map the identity shift that you need, and we're going to upgrade your rituals and your habits. It will get you aligned before you set a single goal. This is the work that makes success sustainable. So go to ShaylaKing.com. There'll be a banner there, or follow me on LinkedIn and you will find the registration link there. And this is just something that at the end of the year, I love giving back. And so it's absolutely free for you being part of my audience. And I am so looking forward to seeing all of your faces live on Zoom. And this will be a real workshop together. You're going to have time to work. You're going to have time to get this done. So book that hour and hold it safely because it's your hour to reflect so you can leapfrog next year. All right. I will see you there. Have a great week. Hi, friends. No better way to spend the end of the year than with me. I'm inviting you to our end of the year workshop. It's 2 parts on December 10th and December 17th, and we are going to be reflecting on exactly what worked and why during 2025, so 2026 can be your most epic year yet. And as a Christmas present to you, I am offering the entire thing for free. You do not want to miss this opportunity. It's rare that we get a chance to be together in a workshop like this, and you'll get to be in the room with other 5%ers so you can feel that up level just by getting in the room. I can't wait to see you there. Save this time, covet this time. Do not miss it. It will set you up for success in 2026. Let's go. Thanks for joining me in the 5% Club today. If you're ready to make more, work less, and design a life you love, then go to ShaylaKing.com and join the waitlist. You'll be the first to know when there's openings to work with me in one-on-one coaching or the Performance and Happiness Lab, my group container where you will learn to be a high-performing, highly paid executive who loves your whole life. I'll see you there.